Here's what I did when I realized that lots of people like me were feeling stuck. I went and talked to people about how they got unstuck. Over the last 5 years, I've crisscrossed the United States, collecting hundreds of life stories from people of all backgrounds. People who lost homes, lost limbs, changed careers, changed religions, got sober, got out of bad marriages. In total, 1,500 hours of interviews, 10,000 pages of transcripts. With a team of 12, I've spent years coding these stories for more than 100 variables, looking for patterns that can help all of us survive and thrive in times of change. I've learned 3 big things. The first is that the linear life is dead. The idea that we're going to have one job, one relationship, one source of happiness from adolescence to assisted living is hopelessly outdated. What's more, this idea is a relatively recent invention. In the ancient world, they didn't have linear time. They thought life was a cycle. In the Middle Ages, they viewed life as a staircase up to middle age, then down. Think how rigid that is. No new love at 60, no retiring and opening an Airbnb at 70, straight up, straight down. Then, 150 years ago, we adopted the idea that life proceeds in stages, like an assembly line. Piaget introduces the idea that children develop in stages. Freud says we go through psychosexual stages. Erikson insists there are 8 stages of moral development. All these are linear constructs. This model peaks in the 1970s with the idea that everyone does the same thing in their 20s, then the same thing in their 30s, then has a midlife crisis sometime between 39 and 44 and a half. It's hard to overstate how powerful that idea was. The midlife crisis was no longer just a theory, it was a fact. But here's the problem. It's not a fact. It's a myth. It's a delusion that disruptive events in our lives happen only on birthdays that end in 0. The pandemic may be the best example of all. Suddenly everyone, regardless of age, was in a crisis. Unpredictable events don't happen on a predictable schedule. They happen whenever.